Unveiling Anti-Masonry.
The battle over secrecy and power.
For those who deeply understand
Masonic philosophy and have first-hand experience with the functions
and purpose of a Masonic lodge,
it is hard to imagine that opposition to the craft could exist, especially given how intense
and persistent
it has been at times.
Yet, anti-Masonic sentiment has persisted over the years
and continues to thrive in some circles even today.
Opposition to Freemasonry has typically originated
from four primary sources: organized groups,
private individuals,
political movements, and religious organizations or individuals who assert they represent religious perspectives. One of the first organized groups to oppose Freemasonry
were the Gormagons,
who emerged in London around year 1724. Their primary goal seemed to be to undermine Masonry,
using mockery
and contempt as their main tactics. This group was active
for only a few years.
Another anti-Masonic group that emerged in London was the Scald Miserables,
or Mock Masons, founded around year 1741.
Among their activities, members organized parades that were absurd mockeries of the authentic Masonic processions of the time. Once again,
they employed ridicule
and disdain in their attack. But their efforts ultimately faded
due to the shallowness of their antics.
Many individuals have opposed Freemasonry, often driven by unique and sometimes hidden motives. Their attacks occasionally involve publishing
exposures of Masonic secrets,
including, in some instances, the rituals of the organization.
While some of these writers
were disgruntled former members,
making their intentions
somewhat understandable,
their actions were still seen as reprehensible by those who recognized their true aims.
Among the earliest of such works
was Samuel Pritchard's
Masonry Dissected, published in 1730. Another notable example was William Morgan's Illustrations of Masonry, released in 1828. Political opposition to Freemasonry has been more prevalent in some countries. A clear example is the persecution of Masons
and the disbanding of Masonic organizations in nations under totalitarian regimes.
This follows a familiar pattern
to suppress personal freedom and initiative.
Dictatorships target Freemasonry, as it stands for and promotes individual rights
that such regimes seek to deny. Although Freemasonry welcomes individuals of all faiths
and excludes no one based on religious beliefs, certain religious denominations have openly opposed it. This opposition has manifested in various ways, including outright bans on membership for their followers, discouraging members from joining, and prohibiting clergy from affiliating with the organization.
The reasons for this hostility differ and can often be found in the anti-Masonic articles still published by these groups.
A notable trait of individuals
and groups actively opposing Freemasonry is their nearly universal reliance
on the issue of secrecy to justify their objections. This likely stems from the collapse of their other argument
when scrutinized under the lens of truth,
leaving them clinging to this single point as the foundation of their rigid yet fragile stance. Over the years,
considerable debate has arisen regarding Masonic secrecy, leading many to form a distorted view
of the craft's true purpose and operations.
Unfortunately,
the word secret,
harmless on its own, has become associated with corruption, deceit, or wrongdoing.
However, a thoughtful perspective
recognizes that something can be secret
without being immoral. In response to accusations of secrecy,
some have countered by describing Freemasonry as not a secret society,
but rather a society with secrets. While this response is clear and straightforward, its ambiguity leaves it
open to misinterpretation by critics.
The purpose, aims, and principles of Freemasonry
have never been hidden and have been extensively covered in numerous publications.
However, certain matters are reserved for discussion
exclusively among members of the craft.
just as specific information is rightfully accessible only to those within the organization. Every Mason is fully aware of these boundaries. Every human group and institution has its own secrets,
Or more accurately, private matters that they have legitimate reasons
to keep confidential.
Families, for instance, discuss topics that are not meant to involve their neighbors.
Government bodies hold closed-door meetings to address state issues without public interference. Church councils deliberate privately to tackle pressing matters efficiently. Civic organizations and committees often plan behind the scenes,
with some details remaining undisclosed indefinitely. Similarly, corporate boards devise strategies
that are not meant for their competitors. While these activities take place in private or secretly, if you prefer, they do not imply anything improper or unethical.
Therefore, it is entirely reasonable for a Masonic lodge to meet behind securely closed doors to conduct its lawful and peaceful work.
Secret societies certainly exist,
But Freemasonry is not one of them. Unlike true secret orders,
Masons openly acknowledge their membership,
publicly announce their meeting times and locations
and often hold officer installations.
as public events that anyone can attend,
Additionally, their goals and purposes.
are transparently shared for all to understand.
Those who unjustly criticize Freemasonry as a secret society
Often seem oblivious to the numerous public statements.
Masonic writers have made on this very topic.
If they are aware of these declarations,
Their position can only be seen as biased,
or as a steadfast refusal to acknowledge
the factual evidence readily available to them. In this context, the observations of Masonic writers are noteworthy. They point out
there is a widespread belief that Masonry is a secret society. This misconception has led to the assumption that the organization's primary purpose involves hidden policies or teachings,
when in fact, its greatest secret is that it has no secret at all.
Through its rituals and teachings, Freemasonry imparts no moral, scientific, religious, or other knowledge
That cannot be found in contemporary thought or the wisdom of past sages.
in these areas. It holds no secrets whatsoever.
Music remains a mystery to the mute, mathematics a mystery to the uninformed.
Philosophy, a mystery to the uneducated.
In the same way, Freemasonry remains a mystery to those who are uninitiated,
If there is such a thing as Masonic mysticism,
distinct from mere mystification.
it might be best understood in the following way. There are, as the old phrase goes, certain mysteries of Masonry,
And every Mason understands what they entail,
one of the greatest mysteries is how,
and often why, men with significant responsibilities,
whether holding high public office,
or leading major enterprises, devote 1 to 3 evenings a week to Freemasonry.
for many, it becomes a secondary vocation, and for some, nearly a profession.
They hold offices year after year across various rites and bodies, with many dedicating themselves to the rigorous study required to achieve near professional expertise in ritual work.
In conclusion, what was once thought to be a secret is,
In reality, no secret at all. The true secret has now been openly revealed.
Freemasons continue to share a profound hope and confidence in the possibility of universal tolerance and understanding,
which inspires modern members to find Masonry both compelling and uplifting. Despite challenges such as persecution, the threat of nuclear annihilation,
and global fears. Freemasons firmly believe in humanity's immortal spirit.
and its boundless potential for good. This enduring hope and guiding principle is the true secret of a Master Mason.
Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.